It's like weird, dopey dinosaur. It's like, who is this dinosaur? What does he believe in?
Wow.
Hello and welcome to the Abroad in Japan podcast. Probably the best way of learning about life in Japan without actually being in Japan. I'm your host, Chris Broad. We're joined as always by England's top Japan enthusiast, Mr. Pete Darlson himself. Pete, how the devil are you doing? What's going on?
I'm good, Chris. I'm having a good a couple of days. I've just been eating curries, drinking Prosecco, and just generally sort of celebrating life as I know it, I suppose. Hanging out with a little child that seems to be sort of hanging around me these days, and my two dogs. I did drop 400 quid at the vets because one of the dogs was ill. But other than that, everything's hunky-dory, Chris. Everything's absolutely fine.
I hope you haven't got your child hooked on your beloved Monster Energy drinks yet. It's all downhill from there.
No, it's very much Daddy's omelette. Daddy makes an omelette every morning, and she eats the omelette, and she's just a big omelette, big egg fan in general, really. Egg and Pee-wee's Playhouse, Pee-wee Herman and Pee-wee's Playhouse. We used to watch it when she was very young. Now we started picking it up and watching it again, and she gets even more out of it now. So I think that is going to be a lifelong love for her, the slightly murky man that is Mr. Pee-wee Herman.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God, man. It's incredible, isn't it? Like, the difference it can make having the right or wrong parents and the way they spend their time with kids and the things they show them. You know?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never seen Pee-wee Herman apart from the one time you showed me and then told me about all the things that happened after and how his career ended in flames. You know.
It was the most expensive child's TV show ever made at the time. It was something like 300,000 an episode. Just a lot of animation in there. I think it's genuinely, quite apart from, Pee-wee doing stuff and collecting stuff that he shouldn't be collecting. Google that if you want to. It's actually quite for that time, lot of black actors and participants in the show and stuff. It was really and like showcased some really good animation, really good music. Like the stars of stage and screen would sort of pop in because it was quite cool at the same time. And I just think it was like if I'm going to show my bairn something, she can have a bit of Mr. Tumble if she wants. Fine, she loves Mr. Tumble. But yeah, I think I think it's a cool show to show a child. Really.
What about Barney the Dinosaur? What about Barney
the Dinosaur? Well, he basically just hangs out in his backyard, doesn't he? You never see the rest of Barney's house. I'd very much like to find out what Barney's got. Because it could just be like corpses in various states of, disrepair. He could be just eating people. You don't know. He's always just in his garden, isn't he? Who's that? I think there was sort of, Trash tasted a couple of videos with him. Say again?
He's creepy.
Oh, Barney.
Were
you a big Barney guy?
Creepy.
Yeah.
Well, no, because it was like an American thing, wasn't it? And it never really got popular in the UK, but on occasion when I saw it, it was so fucking creepy. This like weird, dopey dinosaur. It's like, who is this dinosaur? What does he believe in? Barney the dinosaur. Terrifying.
Well, it sounds like he's had a few oxycodone, hasn't he? Or Oxycontin or whatever the bloody hell you call it. It just sounds a bit blissed out. Do you know what I mean? Ooh, all that
He's
business.
patient zero, yeah.
Yeah, but the backyard he sort of spent all his time in. Trash tasted a podcast record with another creator. I must admit I can't remember who it is, but they're set
Probably
for their podcast
the
or shows. Is it The Yard?
Right. Yeah.
Now, what is that? Who is that? I just love that set, but it reminds me of Barney's garden.
It's
Such a good
Ludwig
idea.
and friends, yeah, Ludwig and his team, and they sit in the yard, and it looks kind of cool. It's quite a cool set, actually. I don't know if it's a set or if it's actually a yard, but it looks kind of cool. Yeah.
It looks like a sort of like a mid sort of 80s sort of sitcom set, doesn't it? Really, for a backyard. It's and when we were sort of building a studio, I was like, why don't we do this? But instead, we went for the usual shorthand for studio, which is just wood panelling, wood acoustic panelling, straight up, straight down. It's the thing that says this is a podcast studio.
But your studio is itself good, so that makes up for it.
Oh,
I like your
my
Steve.
little one. My little one's a load of old tut, but yeah, got me little telly in the background that occasionally emits a high pitched whine that upsets the hard of hearing, or the good of hearing, I suppose, as well. Uniting
But
the
that's
two.
the thing. Like when I look back at my videos, like the most successful ones are like the one shot in my apartment by like a bookshelf when it was like a set that was not even a set. It was just like free. Although I used to get like a Shoji sliding door because the room I shot in my apartment was like crap. It was really ugly.
Right.
And I had to spend half an hour getting this crappy little paper door and framing it so the room looked good. But I kind of like free. And that's what you need, isn't it? Just a bookshelf.
Well, I think whenever we have sort of meetings with like YouTube, where they're just telling us, or you know, a derivative of YouTube that tell you, oh, we're doing this new thing, you should do it. You should do, you know, subscriptions, and we do it, and then that's all gets the listeners get served, and it's quite annoying. But whenever they do sort of say, like, most people sort of second screen stuff, and they watch stuff while they're doing other things. You know, I consume a huge amount of like. My big thing is it Starvey, the big large sort of Greek American guy who does phone-ins for the hopeful and stupid, who basically just gets loads of always men ringing in going, I think I'm going to sleep with somebody at work. I've got kids at home. I think I'm going to do it. And he goes, don't do that. Like, you're mental. Like, but it's just a succession of men who have talked to only one thing, their penis, and then they ring up Starvey, and Starvey goes, no, don't do that. You're a weirdo. You're a fucking weirdo. It really is. Can't recommend the Starvey clips enough on YouTube. That's all I watch at the moment. But
does he eat food?
He's just, say again.
Does he eat food? Because his name's Starvey. It's all a bit starving.
I'm starving. No, he's a stand-up. He used to be in the podcast that's quite popular on YouTube called I'm going to say it, Comtown, and I think he moved onto that. He's an interesting fella, and it will delight most of the Magalot in the comments that I like him because he's quite right on at the same time. Sneaky bit of starving.
I'm starving for a good fucking listener story. Let's dive in. One from Amanda. From Singapore. This is Hello, Chris and Pete. I've visited Japan probably about 4 or 5 times now in the last decade. I've noticed that Japan, especially cities like Osaka and Kobe, are changing pretty rapidly over the years. But the biggest change I've noticed, I think, is between January 2024 and January 2025. I noticed on my train ride from Kobe towards Osaka in the afternoon that the closer we got to Osaka, the noisier the riders seemed to be. There was definitely a lot more chit-chat along local commuters. They looked like they were dressed to go to work or shopping, and at a louder volume than I've experienced in any other prefecture in the Kansai region or even in Tokyo. I also noticed there were more people with coloured hair rather than the traditionally more common black hair, and not just among young people but also amongst riders who looked like they were in their 30s to 50s. The latter group seemed to almost have mostly dyed hair with bronze, copper or brown, while the younger folks have their hair colours closer to what you'd expect in Harajuku. It also seems like there are more young people going out and about in Shinsaibashi and Dotonbori areas with multiple piercings and visible tattoos. Unbelievable, disgusting tattoos, some of whom work at shops in those areas. It's unclear if the people I noticed are all from Osaka, Japanese folks who might have migrated elsewhere, or some other Asian foreigners who pass as Japanese by appearance. Has it become more acceptable or normal to have tattoos or piercings in Japan now, or is it something unique to Osaka, or just particularly westernised touristy areas of Osaka? Let me know, guys. Many thanks. Keep on what you're doing. Amanda from Singapore. I think you just noticed there was a woman with a tattoo, innit? I don't know.
Osaka's cool, isn't it? Osaka's like a cool, like, young person place to be, innit? With their big tall ice creams.
It's definitely it's definitely in a league of its own in Osaka. People just don't care as much. There are I think you're more likely to be on a train, people to be chatting and having fun in Osaka than you ever would in Tokyo. I mean, generally I find people just have a bit more personality in Osaka, or at least they show it. They're a lot more extroverted and loud and opinionated. It's no exaggeration to say it's like wandering into a different version of Japan when you go to like Kansai compared to Tokyo. I mean, I was in fucking Osaka 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was like, wait a minute, why don't I live here? This is such a cool city. Everyone is a lot more chill. It's really easy to start talking to someone. People just come up to you and have a chat, and not the usual like, what are you doing here? Wow, Nihongo Jozu. Like, they actually have like kind of random conversations with you in fun, exciting ways. So, you know, whether or not, I mean, Amanda seemed to have seen this change between January 2024 and January 2025. That's a space of 1 year.
I feel Amanda might have a very small group of stats to draw from. But I always think that, like, Osaka, you do see more people with sort of tattoos and stuff. But I think it's just because, like, if you're more career focused, you're going to head to Tokyo, and there will be room for you because it's fucking massive. But Osaka, it's a bit more focused on people who are just, a little less career focused and a little more like vocational, and also just a lot of like cool fucking skate shops as well. So there's that as well.
Yeah, when I was there, I was with Natsuki when I was there the other week, and it just feels like he belongs there. When he's there, he's like, "This is my people.
Yeah,
I belong here." And he's very much an anomaly in North Japan, and I think he very much wants to be in Osaka, where he feels he can let his hair down. And I noticed Natsuki loves just chatting to people when he's out and about. And I noticed whenever we're in the taxis, he would just chat to people, and they loved him. And I think Osaka's just fucking brilliant, and you should live there. If you come to Japan, don't dick about, don't pick anywhere. Just go to Osaka, be done with it, and thank me later.
Why don't we have like a Natsuki project where we get Natsuki's salon set up in downtown Osaka where the tourists can see him? It's fabulous. He goes from like doing elderly women's hair to like doing the skate youth of Dotonbori.
The skate
America town.
Funnily enough, we went to Amerikamura, the skatey park, that you and I went to and chatted to everyone. I was just really depressingly dead. It was really odd. There was like no one there, and I was like, "Oh, what's happened? What's happened to Amerikamura?"
Yeah, well, sometimes, like, most nights you'll see the little bouncy cars with the men who have the cars that bounce up and down, like the sort of Where did that start? Was that Miami, sort of Latino kind of culture, like the car customization where you make the car bounce up and down and stuff on pneumatics? You see that quite a lot.
Your car does that, but that's not intentional, right?
It's not supposed to. The air suspension just leaks. Badonk.
Stuffed.
I spent a little bit of time undersealing it because in Japan they don't put salt on the roads, but over here they do, and obviously I live right next to the sea as well, which is a bigger problem. So you got to kind of underseal it, spray. It's called, I use a thing called Lanogard that smelled like sheep's. It's disgusting. And I was underneath it, and the amount of times I'd scrape the bottom of that car, just loads of like the oil pans just all crunched and like, and I'm like, I did that. I know exactly which speed bump I did it on as well. Absolutely munched it.
You'll be doing drifting in Amerikamura in no time. Bring it back.
Well, I mean, did I tell you about the police car that the JDM? There's a JDM, Japanese domestic market importer down the road from me, and every neighbour I've got has been texting me this picture of this Japanese police car that this guy's imported because he's mad.
No way.
He does mad like Nissan Cubes and stuff. He does interesting sort of Japan imports and stuff. He does the normal like Nissan Elgrans and stuff for families and stuff, but he also does like mad sort of Japanese only cars. And he imported a Japanese police car. And I'm like, you're not going to be able to drive that on a road. B, so I had a look in it, and it's like a drift car. He's like, I think it was a drift car out in Japan, and he's imported it as that. But it's still got all of the police, bits of technology and stuff like that, and also a load of like mad nitro stuff as well. But it's like 10 grand. I was like, who's buying that? Who's buying a Japanese police car?
You're buying that.
Turns out me. Turns out it's a manual. I can't drive it. But turns out, he's they sort of all of my neighbours keep sending it to me, going, Pete, they got a Japanese police car outside the shop. I was going, oh, I've already had a look.
You can't drive manual. You'd be a terrible police officer. Nothing gets in the way of crime.
No.
Except Pete with his manual car.
Surely, if you're a police driver, man, you need to sort of press your buttons and beep and use your radio and stuff like that, so you don't have time to be messing around with a gear shift, do you? I don't.
Very true. I think you should buy it though. Do something with it. You can give me a gift. I need a Christmas present from you this year to make up for the lack of presents over the last 3 years.
I bought you a Japanese police car, Chris. That's going to be outside your house in England. You get one.
I would find good use for it. I would.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the 2 days ago, I did a podcast with Connor for another podcast. American guys came over to Japan.
What?
And I betrayed you. Sorry. But in the podcast, that we had a section where we talked about the work-life balance and how Japan is improving, right? We all know Japan hasn't got a good work-life balance. People end up working until silly o'clock. But then Connor and I were like, things have changed. Things are getting better since COVID. Yeah. That has changed. People don't drink as much. They don't go out having to do work parties. And then, right on schedule, right on time, this week, we had a news story with a brand new Japanese Prime Minister, Takaichi, had a meeting at 3 o'clock in the morning because she's like, we will not rest, we will not sleep, we will not breathe until we serve the people. And that means getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. And this has sort of done the rounds this week. Brand new Prime Minister, who's seems to have won a lot of people over. Some people aren't so sure. I will reserve judgment until she's had a few months in office. She seems good in some ways, but I'm not so sure about the staying up till 3 a.m. meeting business. But fill us in, Pete. What's going on? 3 a.m.
Yeah, the new Prime Minister of Japan, Sanae Takaichi, has revealed that she survives on just 2 to 4 hours of sleep a night. During a recent legislative committee session, she told MPs, I sleep about 2 hours now, 4 hours at the longest. She even held a 3 a.m. meeting with aides to prep for a budget hearing. At gunpoint. Now, this admission has sparked quite a bit of chatter. On one hand, you have a leader who's clearly working extremely hard. On the other hand, it raises concerns about the toll such a schedule takes on her health and what message it sends about the broader culture of work in Japan. We've obviously spoken at length about karoshi, the death by overwork culture in corporate Japan, where long hours and late night socialising are common. Takaichi, who became Japan's first female Prime Minister at the end of October, has publicly said she's less focused on her own work-life balance and more on urging others to work like a horse. But now senior figures have just sort of said, come on now, we're a little bit worried.
Please go to bed.
We're a little bit worried. Please go to sleep, please. But yeah, I mean, it's the average weekday sleep time for people in Japan is about 7 hours and 1 minute. Already quite below the international average, meaning Takaichi's 2 to 4 hour schedule is well off the chart. It's on the chart, but it's at the bottom. But not ideal. It's very Margaret Thatcher, isn't it, Chris? Margaret Thatcher, she's obviously, said on more than one occasion she wants to be like Margaret Thatcher, and Margaret Thatcher had a similar sleep schedule. She would only sleep for a couple of hours.
Why does no one want to be like Pete Dawson? Well, that's the real question.
It's solid. A solid 8. A solid 8 starting at 9 p.m. with an episode of The US Office. 6 times through. Lovely.
This whole average amount of sleep by hours. It's interesting. I just looked it up, and in Japan it says Japan reported one of the shortest averages of about 6 hours 18 minutes.
Right.
Do you know which country has the highest average sleep duration at 7 hours 52 minutes?
Well, are we including the Spanish siesta? Is that...
We're not including that now. Forget Spain. Okay. They're all over the place. It's difficult to imagine.
Forget them. Would it be somewhere like Sweden?
No. Right. No, it wouldn't. It would be somewhere like France. Apparently France has 7 hours 52 minutes sleep. You always take these things with a pinch of salt.
Are they asleep or are they having affairs, Chris? They're in bed, sure. Or maybe they're tired after their, you know what I'm talking about, guys. You know their culture.
I really don't know, though. No matter where you look it up, the numbers are completely different. So just ignore all that. But what I will say is I don't think not sleeping should be heralded as something that's good. I know all entrepreneurs are like, I start my day at 5 o'clock, I do 50 press-ups and have a prayer and fucking... They make up loads of rubbish about getting up early. I think getting up early is good, but not when you do it like you do, by waking up and downing Monster Energy and shaving 3 years off your life every morning.
I'm up at 5:50 to do the podcast, thank you. I bleed for this production.
You're as bad as Takaichi.
I bleed to talk about AI bears every morning, me. I fucking love them. I can't get enough of them. Yeah, it's a shame. I don't think anyone should be sort of... Because you don't want people who are on 2 hours sleep making any decisions, for crying out loud. But it's... she's sounds like... But it's that kind of culture of... I think it's a little bit of kind of... when you're when you're a minority in positions of power, you have to sort of project this kind of image of I'm working harder than the next best male counterpart sort of thing. So I think there's probably a little bit of that in there as well. But it's not something that should be lauded. She needs some sleep. Get her some sleep.
But we'll see how she gets on.
Kratom. I did
What did she do?
just have a lot of Kratom during the day. Obsessed
She
with
did something
Kratom.
else. What did she do this week? She did something else that a lot of people
Right.
talked about. Oh, I
Right.
can't remember. We'll probably talk about it in
Just
the next
basically,
episode.
look, that's you get elected. You've got a brief to ruffle some feathers, and you're never more powerful than you are in the first weeks of your stewardship or something.
Just go to
I
bed.
don't know.
That's what I'll say. I mean,
Just
like,
go to
I
bed
had.
for crying out loud.
I've been sleeping all right recently, but last night I had 6 hours sleep. I was very silly. I drank too much Tullies, as I am now, and I didn't
Much
sleep.
Tullies.
And I went to bed at 3
Right.
a.m. I woke up at 7, I think, 6 or 7 or 8, and I felt like crap all day. And I remember now why I go to bed on time. Like I become, because my doing editing stuff or writing or anything, you often find you do work late into the night. Most people will admit. They're most productive, I find, in the evenings or in the early morning when everything's shut down and quiet. And I'm no exception to that. But I really think it fucks up your circadian rhythm and it screws up everything else. And the days get late. You get up later and later and you get into this vicious cycle. And I've done a really good job, actually, last year, I would say, of breaking that cycle and not doing the 4 or 5 a.m. thing. The lowest point this year, I released a documentary on UFOs. And that I released it at 8 o'clock in the morning on the first day of a project filming a documentary about volcanoes. I went with Ian and Marcus, the editor. We flew down to Kagoshima in the evening. And I was like, I've just got to put this video up. You go to bed now, guys. I'll wake up tomorrow. We'll get filming. And then I didn't go to sleep till 8 o'clock in the morning. I slept 2 hours, got up, and then we had to start filming. And I was ragged for the next 2 days. And I was just like, what am I doing? I'm a dickhead. So
I mean, it's not as if like you've got a 9 to 5. It's not as if someone's telling you to sort of do stuff. But then I guess when you've got people around you, you have responsibilities to get stuff sorted and
But
done,
I was sabotaging the next project by being
yeah.
stuck in the last one. So I'm trying to manage things a bit better.
When you sort of release videos, you spend all the time editing, and then you get to a point where you're like, oh, I can get it out tonight. And then you're like, you factor in getting it out tonight, but you don't factor in artwork, test different bits and bobs. And so you forget about and then you're in that zone where you're like, oh, maybe I'll read the few comments. And then it's just like, it's like fucking, 3
happens,
p.m. And you're like, I've not slept. But that's passion, mate. That is passion.
Passion. That's where I
Passion,
roll.
baby.
Passion.
Passion.
Really? I'm as bad as Takaichi. But I think if I was running an entire country, I'd be like, I should probably get 7 hours sleep for all the stuff that, imagine if a dangerous World War III breaks out, China goes, oh, fuck it, let's go and take Taiwan. And the Prime Minister's like, I've only had 2 hours sleep. I can't be bothered. I can't do it. Sleep. That's why you need sleep. You got to be prepared.
Maybe she's read things. Don't you get sort of dealt into all of the secrets that when you become the Prime Minister, you get dealt into all the secrets that the country holds that is not fit for human consumption, or the
Pokemon are real.
Populace.
Pokemon is all real.
Yeah, you get told that
Godzilla's
the
real.
pocket monsters actually exist on the top of Mount Asso or something.
That's actually quite exciting. That'd be a good film. But until then, we'll take a break. We're back in a moment. Your stories, comments, and questions over in the fax machine.
Wow.
And we're back with the fax machine. What do we got this week, Mr. Dawson? Fill us in.
We got a quick one from Nathan. Hi fellas, I'm heading to Japan in January 2026 and I'm trying my best to pick up some phrases. Do you find that locals appreciate when foreigners attempt Japanese, even if it's imperfect? I don't want to embarrass anyone, but I'd like to show willing. It's not easy though, so I'm hoping my efforts might at least get a smile. Thank you for connecting us with Japan without us actually being in Japan. Nathan. I think people sort of appreciate it, don't they? When you do your best.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Anything that just shows you made an effort. You could be like, goo goo gaga, fucking beer stotsu, and they'll be like, wow, amazing. Just as long as you make an effort.
Nihongojozo. Well done, baby.
You can
just learn the word daijobu, and that's just everything.
Essentially,
Samima saying daijobu, that's everything.
I would, genuinely. Those, if you learn 2 words, those are the ones you need. Daijobu is so good. It's the Swiss Army knife of words. But make an effort, and trust me, you'll get a free drink at some point. Amy says, Dear Chris and Pete, my boyfriend and I go in Japan in April, spending 3 nights in Osaka, 2 nights in Kyoto, and 5 nights in Tokyo. We're looking forward to sampling as much food as possible, but we really want to get our hands on the good stuff, Wagyu beef. To ensure we select wisely, what should we be looking for? We don't want to fall for an inferior cut with merely fancy marketing. How do we make an assessment? Or better yet, where do you recommend? We don't mind pulling out the stops for this meal. It only seems right when in Japan. All the best, guys. Amy.
I've fallen for this a few times, Chris. I've walked into an A5 Wagyu restaurant and it just seems like, this doesn't feel like the sort of place that would have the good stuff. And turns out it hadn't.
It was just a piece of Wagyu in the shape of A5 paper. Oh, it's a complete
it's just pounded out like in the shape of a big pancake. No, I think they've basically just taken a man's leather shoe and just popped it on the hot plate. Delicious.
Funnily enough, when I was in Osaka, we were looking for some restaurants at one point, and we did find like a A5 Wagyu place, and all the reviews were horrific. It looked like a scam, and like people were talking about how they went in and being charged absurd amounts of money for like a lump of matter that certainly wasn't A5. I don't really know. I mean, honestly, just do your homework online.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think I did a video last year called 12 Must-Try Dishes in Japan, and in that video we did go to a pretty decent teppanyaki place. Look that up in a description box thing, and it was
we did one, didn't we? Did we list where we went in
yeah, we did.
We went for an A5 Wagyu. That's got us in Kobe. I know that's in Kobe. I agree. I think googling it and just look for translated Japanese reviews rather than English reviews because you can usually tell because they're written in a very sort of functional, strange way. Obviously, because it's a different language, and some things don't translate. But look for stuff like that, and if people are talking about decent A5 Wagyu, definitely go for those.
But I would say be wary of the touristy places.
Yeah. Get out of the big touristy streets because you're just not going to find anything decent there because they can get away with selling absolute. There's a sushi conveyor belt place in Dotonbori, and it is. And I went in there and I was like, I just want some sushi, and it was the worst. I mean, I'm no connoisseur. I drink Monster Energy drink, and I'm going to have curry for breakfast when I finish the show. But that I've got in the fridge. And I've had on more than one occasion some crappy meals because I've just been like, I just need some food. I'm not a great connoisseur, but even I was like, ugh, bad sushi, yuck.
Yeah, I mean, obviously try and look out for A5 Wagyu. That's usually the better quality. But then I've also found A5 Wagyu's become a buzzword. And there's like a restaurant in Asakusa near the Sensoji Temple, and they've got A5, A5, A5 written, I think by my count, 30 times all over the shop front. And it did feel a bit like desperate. So, rule of thumb, be very careful in touristy areas like Asakusa and Shibuya, because if you see English, that's often there to target the foreign tourist. The prices will be higher, the quality will be lower because you don't know the difference. So just be wary of that. The more English you see, the more it's time to get worried, unfortunately, when it comes to a lot of restaurants in Japan. And finally, Dan from Hampshire says, hello, guys. I'm heading to Japan in March 2026. I'm counting down the days. I'm going to be staying in major cities for most of the time, but I'll be heading to Sado Island in March. Oh, good man. As it's remote, I wondered if the drinking water is safe there, or should I allocate some of my budget to water bottles and vending machines? Thanks for the work you do, Dan from Hampshire. No, it's fine, Dan. Don't worry. No matter where you are in Japan, the drinking water is wonderful, magical. Even on like remote islands in Okinawa, the water is all good, so don't worry about that. Most places you go now. Yeah, Sado Island is pretty messed up in March. I went there in March and it's windy, it's cold, it's a bit depressing. I would be wary of the weather. Check the weather before you go because the ferries often get stopped. I do love it though. I've just written another book. It took bloody months, and I've got a whole section on Sado Island. The second book. I see. The third book, I'll just dictate it today for you, and you can write it down for me. But I wrote about Sado Island in it extensively because I love it, and nobody ever goes there, and it's like all the best stuff about Japan in one place. Just don't know if March is a good time to go, unless it's maybe the tail end of March. But let us know how you get on, man. Good choice, though. Good choice. I like to see people going to far-flung corners of Japan. Keep the stories, questions, comments coming in to abroadjapanpodcast@gmail.com. But for now, guys, have yourself a great few days. We'll see you right back here to do all over again on the Abroad Japan podcast. Bye for now. Take care.
Very well.